So behind me, we have a Ferrari F430, which coincidentally happened to catch on fire. So what happened was one of the hydraulic hoses busted for the F1 Transmission Actuator, which is also the same type of actuator system that's on the E46 M3, the SMG. So the pump and all that is very similar, but one of those lines busted and it just coated the headers and just caught on fire. Luckily there was no damage. The driver got out really quickly and blew it out with his mouth, and bam, we're good.
With his mouth?
Yes, with his mouth. There was no fire extinguisher. So let's take a look at it. It's a 2009 F430. Obviously really clean. So the hydraulic lines go from the actuator, which is back here. They go all the way around to right here, which actually goes to the clutch. And that's the line that burst. But there's two lines. One, this is the only line that burst, and the second line was on its way out. So we went ahead and got both of them. Each line is around $900, but I have a guy that can remake hydraulic hoses, and he did a phenomenal job, and he did both of them for less than $100. So that worked out really well. Now we just gotta put them in. Unfortunately, I do not have the software to do all of the bleeding and also relearning the gear, which I'm sure I could figure it out. I know I can bleed it without the software, but I can't do the relearning of the gearing without it. So we're gonna have it towed to a Ferrari specialty shop that has the software to do it.
Well, that's salty. Why are you doing a little quotation marks?
Because, I mean, it's just like, you know, they're too good or whatever. But I wish I had the software, that's why I'm salty. But anyways, we're just gonna do that just to be safe, you know. I'm sure I can do it, but we don't wanna take a risk on it. So yeah. Well, you making fun of my quotations? All right. Let me go get the lines and then let's just get to work. All right, so the lines are on. Now we're just waiting on AAA to come pick the Ferrari up and take it to the Ferrari shop.
Hold on, you want to tell them about your shirt?
Oh yeah, we got new merch. Does that sound like too like we're too big?
New merch.
New merch.
Oh wait, new merch.
Yeah, new merch at the Shop Life store.
www.shoplifetv.com.
Yeah. So this is not the final revision because we still have like stuff that's gonna go on the sleeves, but all this is perfect. And we already washed it, tested it, make sure it's, you know, Shop Life approved. We've worked in them already and they still look pretty good. So yeah, we've got two different variations. We've got the E30 and then we've got an E46, also available in different colors, black and gray. So pretty much the colors that we wear when we're working.
They're colors?
Yes, they're colors. That's what we wear to work, and we assume that people will like black and people will like gray. So yeah, all sizes available. Go buy them.
Do you guys have an XXXXX small?
No, we got a medium.
And y'all have to give me
Shop Life approved.
Y'all have to give me okay?
It is Shop Life approved. If we work in it, that means it's gonna last. Like those other shirts that we have selling, we wore those for like 2 years and we still wear them.
Still didn't give me one.
All exposed.
Go to shoplifetv.com and buy yourself one. I won't charge you shipping. I'll bring it to you personally.
Wow.
Hand delivered. Actually, we've hand delivered a couple of Shop Life shirts.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're my siblings, my brother and my sister, and they're gonna help us clean all that.
All of that. And they're gonna peel the whole floor.
Yep. Already started here.
So the Ferrari has left on the tow truck to the Ferrari shop, but it's gone now, and now it's actually nighttime. We're working on some other cars. We're working on this one series. If you guys follow the vlog channel, you guys know that we had the whole build going on here. It's finally back, and we're doing a bunch of stuff on it. All the stuff that I had showed in a previous update. So we're gonna film quite a few DIYs on this, and they're gonna be on my main channel, Shop Life TV. So quick update, we just finished filming a DIY for the starter replacement on this, which also includes the intake manifold removal. And then we started working on doing the charge pipes. So while I was doing the charge pipes, we had like a whole VRSF charge pipe kit with the whole aluminum pipes and silicone couplers and all that. But we did not have the actual boost pipe that goes straight from the turbocharger to the intercooler. So this is a section that we replaced and is included with the kit, but this section is not included. And turns out this section is cracked. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to buy another pipe. It is common for these to crack as well. There's not that many companies making these pipes, but there is one, I think Evolution Raceworks. We already went ahead and ordered that, and it's very possible that this got damaged when it was in a wreck, or just over time it does happen. And since we are gonna be doing down pipes and upping the boost, this will definitely let go even more, even if it wasn't cracked. So it's a good idea to go ahead and replace it. So we'll have that in a couple of days. And that's something that, you know, whenever you're working on cars, especially me as a shop owner, we always run into problems like this just because you don't expect that to happen. And this stuff like this, I mean, I can get the original genuine part for like $300-400, and that's probably gonna let go in the future. So whenever you start going into anything aftermarket, you have to wait on parts. Even though we're right in LA, a lot of these parts are not available right away. So we're still gonna be set back a couple more days on the entire build. And then on top of that, like, you know, other parts that we might need, whenever things like that happen, it just pushes back your schedule. But also we did do a walnut blast on here, and turns out it was not that bad. It was definitely the first walnut blast for this engine. Now let's get a good look at those intake valves. Okay, actually they're not too bad. They're really not bad at all. This engine has 75 or close to 77,000 miles, and they've never been walnut blasted before. So the N54s, they actually need it like almost every 30,000 miles. On this, is actually really, really good, not bad at all. One thing that does worry me though is how there's some oil that's seeping past cylinder 1 and into this bolt hole. That's probably just because that gasket is on its way out and some of that oil made its way over there. But since we are going to be installing a catch can on here as well, hopefully we won't have that issue anymore. Definitely not too bad. So the N55s are a lot better in terms of how the carbon buildup is compared to the N54.
Oh, and also you tried to install the oil catch can, and what happened with that?
Yeah. So the oil catch can, we got the whole kit from Mishimoto, and turns out they forgot to put the actual the fittings. That way you could hook up the hoses to the catch can. But I gotta give Mishimoto props. We contacted them. I did not have the invoice for the actual order, but they still, like, you know, I sent them pictures of the whole kit and everything, how it was sealed, and they still sent out new fittings to us. So those should be here in a couple of days. But once again, it pushes you back a couple of days that you were not expecting. So luckily, the customer doesn't need the car back right away. So whenever we're doing any build like this, anything aftermarket, that's something that you can't really just have a set time frame, because sometimes things don't go according to plan, just like this one. But anyways, let me give you an update on the Ferrari at the Ferrari shop. So the Ferrari, we had it towed out there after we replaced the hoses, the ones that we had remade. Like I said before, those hoses were like $900 each, but we got them made at a hose shop, which they use the exact same material and everything, and that came out to less than $100 to get them remade. Once everything was put back together, I put all new crush washers on everything, made sure they were the proper size and everything. We did not refill the system because we were letting the Ferrari shop put in the fluid and bleed it and do all that. And according to the owner, they said that one of the hoses started leaking, and it was just like the banjo fitting itself. They didn't have to remake the hose or anything, they just had to tighten it or something, which kind of sounds like it's a little sketchy. I don't think that really happened, but whatever, that's not a big deal. They fixed that. Overall cost of that work that they did was about $1,000, which is kind of crazy because, I mean, what they really had to do was refill it. They did have to bleed the whole system, which they had a software to do it. But even then, I still believe you do have to remove the actuator just a little bit so you have access to the bleed screw. That's something that I could have done by just actuating the paddles inside the car and bled it. That's exactly what the software does. But then they also had to do a gear relearn, which was not completely necessary since the car did not, like, you know, completely lose all of its settings or anything. But I'm pretty sure they went ahead and did that. But also what happens was once the owner of the Ferrari went and picked it up, while he was driving it home, the shifts were still not crisp, and sometimes it would, like, you know, not really shift right away like it used to. And then when he got home and he was parking it, it wouldn't go into reverse. So they ended up just, you know, he just kept actuating it, and then it just started going to reverse, did everything fine. They called the Ferrari shop, just made sure that they were aware of the issue, and now they just told him to drive it around and see if it does it again. So for now, the Ferrari is back home with the owner, and it is running and driving well. I mean, he drove it all the way from, I believe, Newport Beach to his place, which is closer to the mountains. But all that's fine. $1,000 later with the Ferrari shop, they've got it somewhat taken care of. I'll keep you guys posted if there's anything else that goes wrong with it. And yeah, if there's any Ferrari software people like Leonardo, I know that's pretty expensive, or even Launch. I know Launch has a scanner that does all of the gear relearn, bleeding and stuff. If you guys want to work with me, let me know. That would be freaking awesome. We can get some Ferraris through here. I would love to work on them. Surprisingly, the Ferraris are very easy to work on. It's not that bad. There's a good amount of space. I know there's a few things, just like every car and every make has its own specific problems that you might have to do a lot more work to get to. But there's a lot of stuff that's very similar in terms of what BMW uses, like ZF stuff, as well as a Ferrari. Like the whole F1 transmission system, the actuator, the pump, all that stuff is exactly the same as the E46 SMG, the M3 SMG. So there's a lot of similarities. Even like the steering fluid reservoir is the same one that's on the E46. It's crazy to see all that stuff. You want to just end the vlog here?
Yep.
All right,
start
well,
on a new project.
Back on to the grind. We're gonna start on a new project. We'll restart the vlog there. Thanks for watching. Make sure you go check out our website, Sharp Life TV, for merch like this. We also have some E46 shirts. And there's always appointment requests on my website if you will have any performance builds, if you have any Ferraris, Lamborghini, I'm just playing. Whatever you have, if it's a performance kind of related build or anything like that, make sure you fill out that appointment request. And if you have any questions that you need one-on-one diagnosing with, you can purchase a question on the website as well, where I will help you one-on-one and we'll get that squared away. Anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure you guys go check out the main channel for all of the DIYs and stay tuned for more vlogs and other DIYs on both of the channels.